let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Mama, please don't worry about me. Cause I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.
It's time to get down to business with leading business coach Jeremy Torisk. Do you have a problem with your business? Marketing, lead generation, employee engagement, hiring, recruiting.
Before I don't mean it.
Call in now with your business issues and get down to business with Jeremy Torisk. Let's get you on the road to success. Let's get down to business.
We are live. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in this week. Already, Kate's tuning in from Delaware, and we expect a few other people tonight, of course. I think it's week 2 since we were back. I'm losing count. I don't know if I've been gone for 2 weeks. It's just my first week back. I'm really time has lost all meaning to me. So I think we did a show last week. Yeah, pretty sure we did. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. 954 is the phone number. 954-338-9799. This is Get Down to Business with Jeremy Torisk. And what we like to do around here is a little bit of a call-in show, Dave Ramsey-esque style, I call it. If you got a business problem, feel free to give me a call at 954-338-9799, or you can put it in the chat and we will address it live on air. I'm telling you, it's been a good week. Really back my first full week back after those 2 weeks on the road. And it was quite a trip, road trip. I won't hash all that up again. Mama's on. Hey, Mama. Hope you're feeling better. And after that spill on your Harley, on your hog. Yeah, it was a really great time. And getting back into the full swing of it, having my meetings again, meeting with the clients again, getting the calls in. Really, this is what I enjoy. Almost second to speaking live. There's nothing like speaking live to an audience anywhere in America, being around people that you like to be with. So what I'm going to do a little bit here is go back and just show some photos. I don't believe we did this, but I want to show some photos from my trip to Nashville with the Speakers Association, just to talk about really some of the, meaningful relationships that were built last week in Nashville, but not only just last week, from last year, right? Everyone conveys there in Nashville for the seminar. So we're going to go over some pictures and talk about some special people, and then we're also going to look forward to some business stuff as usual, right? So I'm going to get some business topics going. We're going to go through. I got a slideshow I'm actually going to use. I know everyone said, oh shit, a slideshow, right? Boring. But this is actually a slideshow I'm putting forth for the Florida Realtors Convention, August 24th or 25th. We got to make sure on those dates, but it's in Orlando at the Ross Shingles Convention, or Ross Shingles, something like that. Some really, really huge compound there in Orlando. I'm looking forward to my first trip there. I think NSA National next July is going to be at the same place. So it'll be good. I'll have a feel of the lay of the land, so to speak. So that'll be pretty cool. So we're going to go over some of those topics I'm going to cover up in Orlando for that. That is going to be my biggest stage to date. Excited about that. So let's just get into it. Okay. So want to start off with again, just kind of going through some photos here of some folks. So I'm the chapter president of Florida Speakers Association, and they just kind of bestowed that on me last a couple Saturdays ago. Very exciting. But Florida showed up. We had a bit of a presence in Nashville. We some other chapters had a lot more, but our chapter represented. So here are some of the folks from the Florida chapter. And I'm just going to kind of put my little ring thing on here, make sure this thing is working. Bam. And so just, kind of shout out to some of the folks from the Florida Speakers Association who made the trip. Really exciting. Great time spending, these moments with these people, learning together how to grow our chapter. Bruce Torkel, I will give you a shout out to Bruce because I've been trying to talk to Bruce for a couple of months now because he's a rock star, bona fide rock star in the speaking world. He's part of our chapter, and we just been missing each other. So got to the airport, the whole show was over. We're on the same flight home. I had a captive audience for about 30 minutes, and really, really bent his ear. Couldn't have been nicer. Got some good tips for the chapter this coming year. We got a big retreat coming up. And then again, so let me just kind of show you how important it is to be at these places. So Annie Meehan, she's a friend of mine. She's from Minnesota. Actually, she was the very first woman inducted to the Speakers Hall of Fame for Minnesota. That happened earlier this year. Congratulations. All right. To you, Annie, for that. That was huge. Congratulations for that. But in speaking with her and spending time with her, she lives in Florida now. She moved to Florida, and I was like, dude, why aren't you in our chapter? Because there's 2 chapters in Florida. I didn't want to lose her to the Tampa chapter, even though I think she lives closer to the chapter that meet in Central Florida. I think they meet in Tampa or Orlando. But you know what? Selfishly, I want Annie in our chapter. She brings so much. She's going to be our CSP champion, our CSP advocate. She's going to let us know how to get our CSPs. But besides that, just all the knowledge that she's going to bring. It was just a huge get, in my opinion, for our chapter to get Annie to join. So thank you, Annie. And then my home away from home, my North Carolina brothers and sisters, my NSA Carolinas, President Mike Mooney, Al Walker, these people, Larry Long Jr., he's the reason that I'm a speaker. He's one of the reasons. Jane Jenkins Herlong, right there in the middle. Again, one of the reasons. He's one of my heroes, right? Speaking heroes. All right, Stan. I mean, I could go through Chuck Gallagher. He belongs to NSA Carolinas, but I won an auction event to go spend a day with Chuck in Greenville, South Carolina, where he's going to make me a speaker reel. So thanks, Chuck, for your generosity in putting that in the auction, a cigar peg auction. But shout out to you. And then, of course, one of my other heroes here, Dr. Kevin C. Snyder, if you're putting it on the internet, Dr. Kevin C. Snyder, speaking coach and all around rock star, busy professional speaker, man. He is just, he's getting after it, Earl Bell, big reason why, he's CLI, means he's kind of like a go-between between the local chapters and national. I just lost direct line to him. Of course, I got his phone number. He'll always answer, but we've got a new guy, Mark Hunter is our new CLI representative, but boy, I really appreciated you, Earl. And talking about meeting new people, all right, Paul Jenkins. I met Paul Jenkins in the hallway there in Nashville. And let me tell you, Paul has 350,000 YouTube followers. And I bent his ear probably for about an hour. Literally, I stood there in the hallways and we spoke for about an hour. I believe he's coming to our chapter, speak to us about how to grow our YouTube channel. So thank you, Paul, for that. And then, of course, really quickly, I just run through my cigar peg group. I mean, without you guys, I definitely also wouldn't be here. I definitely wouldn't be right here right now speaking and doing what I do without the guidance of my cigar peg brothers and sisters who are the most active and professional speakers in the industry, pretty much hands down. Really just very happy. Of course, there's my beautiful wife, Christy, and I sharing a crab cake in Nashville at Jeff Ruby's. Yeah, Jeff Ruby's. We're really good stuff. Probably one of the best steaks I've ever eaten. That was actually probably one of the best crab cakes we've ever had. Maybe second to Lobster Bar in Fort Lauderdale. But that's the only place that Christy's ever had a crab cake that was worth anything other than Lobster Bar in Lauderdale. So hats off to Jeff Ruby. This was at the Cigar Peg party, and I show this for one reason, because this was a very special night, all of us getting together, and I saved this second to last. This is Jeff Owens all the way with the CSP medal on. Remember, I said Andy's going to help us in our chapters get our CSP, which means you've earned $50,000 from speaking alone in 5 years. Okay, it could happen in 10 years, but you got to make it 5 years, because it doesn't have to be consecutive. So 5 years within a 10-year period, $50,000. Jeff earned his CSP during this convention. Congratulations, huge accomplishment. In the middle, Joe Cursillo, who won the Eddie Award for the Cigar Peg for just being an all-around badass, go-giver, and just anything you need. I would say he would give the shirt off his back, but I'm going to save that for the next one. And then at the, I guess the right or left, whatever, the one not with the medal on his neck, and the one that not in the middle is me. And that shirt is significant because it means that I reached high roller status. So you got member Cigar Peg, and then you got benefactor, and then you've got high roller. What that means is you've given over a period of time $10,000 to Cigar Peg charities, which most of it goes to NSA charities. It's a leg or a peg of NSA. So glad to donate, but it's not for free. I mean, look, I said I got the Chuck Gallagher day with Chuck. I got 2 full days here coming up with Ray Leone. We got Mark Levy, just all the different things. We went, over and above what we had to do, but that's how we roll here. But I'm going to save that shirt off your back thing, because it was so important for me. I was wearing the different colored Cigar Peg shirt, which had like the, I guess it's a tan, right? Really like a beige shirt. And what this person did was literally give me the shirt off her back so I could have a blue Cigar Peg High Roller shirt. So thank you very much, Carolyn Strauss, for giving me your personal Cigar Peg shirt. I think it even has the insignia there on the back. Thank you very much, Carolyn. You're very special to me. You know that. We have a bond, like I do with so many people, but for someone to do what you've done, I got up there and got a little bit of accolade for making high rollers, and she literally took her shirt off, which is what I'm wearing now, and gave it to me because she knew I wanted the shirt. That was the goal. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted the blue shirt. So salute to everybody in Nashville who was there last week, to Cigar Peg, to NSA Carolinas, to CLI, to Florida Speaker Association, everybody else also that I met there and that I learned from. Thank you. Salute. And Mike, what I always smoke, I smoke an e-cigar, actually, and they're going to laugh at me probably, but if anyone knows where to get them, I've got them over there. I've only got 2 left. They stopped making them, actually. They're the perfect cigar to have because they don't inhale, they don't smell. It's a kind of a vape. It's got a menthol taste. So it doesn't even have a cigar taste. I love those things. They look like a real cigar. Even the end lights up, has a little light on it when you take a drag. So really cool cigar. That's what I smoke. I like a Padron. That's if I'm smoking a real cigar. I don't know. I'm not really picky. I don't really have it's like kind of the wine, I can't taste the difference between a $2,000 wine and a $10 bottle of wine. Same with cigars. So I actually prefer that e-cigar. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for some of that. I know it's not the most, it's like watching your parents' slideshow and they come back from vacation, but I wanted to put this stuff on the record, so to speak, because those folks, each and every one of them mean a lot to me, not to mention the hundreds of other people that I was around that weren't in those pictures. Maybe I even got some pictures of them, but I mean, I can only bore the crowd so long. So you're going to be in some other posts that I got coming up around the website. But anyway, it's time, like I said, to get down to business. So let's see what we are talking about tonight. Let me pull up my PowerPoint here, and it's not going to be a regular old PowerPoint. Okay. You know how I do it, right? I'm going to be here talking to you guys, rapping. I'm going to be looking at the chat. I got my phone ringer on. I've got the Bluetooth connected. If you'd like to call me with a business problem, 954-338-9799. But since it's my show and I get to do whatever the hell I want, I'm going to take advantage of this time and go through some of this. This slideshow that I'm going to have for the Florida convention, the Florida Realtors Convention coming up August 25th, the biggest stage to date. I'm speaking, I believe it's August 25th in the morning. And actually, Martha Stewart goes on after me. She goes on around 1 o'clock. I think I go on at 9:45. And I don't know if I have an hour or 2 hours, but we are going to, kind of treat it like 2 hours, and then I'll condense, because it's always better to have too much and condense when you're not sure. Mr. Sanders got to spend this morning with my BNI brothers and sisters at Dina's office and having a power teams breakfast. So thank you for the BNI brothers and sisters who showed up this morning to get together and put out into the ether what we need to help our businesses, always striving to get 1% better. And we are quite the group, the Warriors, BNI Warriors of North Broward and South Palm Beach. Great group, one of the best groups, I believe, in Florida, if not the country. But Dougie was there. Here's another BNI brother, man, Travis. I tell you what a supportive group. All right, these people work hard all day long, and then they're gonna go home and be home with their family and tune in for this show. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You know how much I do. But anyway, so this is let's get down to it. It won't be like fancy stuff, because what I did here is I'm just kind of showing basically the so Facebook user, see there, I don't know who you are, so type your name in if you can, because for some reason Facebook's not giving me the names. But thanks for the comment. But this show here, when I'm not going to push start show, because what happens when I push start show, I lose me, right? I get the notes on the one side and I got the show on the other side, and I just can't figure out how to get this damn thing going with the animations without blocking out my view of me. Okay. So I just don't understand how to do that yet. Maybe I'm overlooking something simple. I don't, necessarily need 100 emails telling me how to do it. I'll figure it out. Normally I have a third TV over here. I have my screen open here on my iPad with the air, and I can watch myself on Zoom. But this isn't that, right? There's a delay here, and it just wouldn't work. So forgive me for the animations, but I'm going to go ahead and start this thing without animations. So like I said, it's a little more fancy than it's going to look here. And Jojo down south, yep. Boom's in the house. He's back home. We have to spend some FaceTime together, you and me. I got some things to cover with you, Joe. So awesome to have you on here. All right, let's this is, like I said, we're just going to kind of get through this thing. Christine, another BNI, bam. Boy, BNI is representing. Tell you what, BNI Warriors. Had a great one-to-one with Christine yesterday. Learned a lot about her business. Dougie Four Walls, Travis, the Bug Terminator, Code 3 Pest Control, and Christine is health insurance. Again, I want to give them a shout out, give the love to my BNI crew who chime in here to support me, little old me. So where is my keyboard? I'm not going to use this thing because I keep going back and forth and I keep losing that thing. So I'm just going to use this keyboard. And so here's what I'm speaking about, guys. I'm speaking to a couple of hundred, to a couple of thousand, don't really quite know. They told me I was in the big room with the big stage. So depending on, I know there's a couple thousand people going to this thing. So I'm prepared for the big numbers. But we're talking about thinking like a CEO, 7 strategies to develop a mindset for success. That's the name of the speech. And that's what we're going to be imparting on these new agents. A lot of them are new, a lot of them are old, but coming out of the pandemic, people lost their jobs. I'm anticipating a lot of new agents at this year's convention. Really, that's plus a lot of old agents go, I've been there 100 times. They may maybe not go to these sessions, so I really do think that a lot of my audience will be new to not only to real estate but also to business, which is really what I'm going for with this speech here, is to turn these new agents to start thinking about new business owners instead of just a new real estate agent. So with that in mind, we're just going to go through this, and basically, again, it's just me getting my reps, right? So y'all know I'm a family man, I'm a fighting man, I'm a music man, I'm a traveling man. I talk fast, I think fast, I act fast. So definitely get around. I've got 30 years under my belt in the telco construction industry. Very proud of that. Started off when I was 20 years old, digging ditches, and worked my way up. I had 8 years at Comcast. One of the best positions that I had in my career was my time at Comcast, really learning that corporate structure and becoming very, very close with a lot of people there. In fact, we just spent the weekend with some people that I worked with 20 years ago with Gene Sabatino and Don Stagliano and with Zarellis Cardenas. We all met and had some pizza and some drinks over there in Palm Beach and Boynton at Gene and Don's house. And man, that was pretty interesting catching up on the old times. But yeah, Comcast was good to me. Then I spent 22 years as a national contractor. I was an employee for a lot of that time. I was an owner for a lot of that time. I was my own contractor. We specialized really in national projects, but we really flourished when there was catastrophic events, really the hurricane responses and restoration jobs. We had the largest companies in America as our customers: AT&T, Windstream, T-Mobile, and Facebook. We did $60 million a year for the last 4, 5, 6 years. Just kicked ass around the country. We sold that company a year ago or so, a little bit longer than that. As an equity partner. I was an equity partner, and I got to retire on my 50th birthday. And that's why I say there that I live now my get to life, because now I built this studio. I call it the Get To Studios, and I get to just sit here and talk to you guys. And this is the stuff that we used to do all around the country, all around the Caribbean. We put in miles and miles and miles and miles of fiber optic cable. There's me with a broken ankle out there trekking through the fields of Virginia. Anyway, I think that other picture up there was in the Bahamas. We had Puerto Rico represented, but we were in Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, the Bahamas. We were in the Keys. We've done panhandle work. You name it. Storm hit. We've been representing our companies there, and we did pretty good. But now, what I specialize in is making business owners more money. That's what I do. And I guarantee that I can find anyone $50,000 of additional revenue in just 45 minutes, period. I do this by examining 12 fundamental business elements. That's what I do. It's just that easy. People try to make it hard, right? And we're going to get to a bunch of stuff here in a little bit here. But people try to make it difficult. They try to complicate what they do. They try to make it seem harder, that nobody can do what I do. Anyone can do what I do. Anybody. You want a job? Come see me. I'll get you doing this stuff in 10 minutes because they make it, the company that I work with makes it so easy to do this. And of course, otherwise, how can I guarantee to make any company, any business owner, $50,000 of additional revenue in 45 minutes with the assessments that we have, and without them spending any more money? All right. So this is 50,000 of free, clear revenue, which usually if you're covering your expenses, your profit goes from usually 8 to 10 or 20, 15% there up to 40, 50, 60% because you have already covered your expenses. This is additional revenue that's not going to cost you a lot of money out of pocket. So I love what I do. So again, we have 7 strategies. We're not going to cover them tonight. There's no way we're going to get to them. We may not even get to the second strategy by the time we're done here at 10 o'clock. I told Christy I was going to stop at 9 because we have no guests, but I'm just going to go through this. I know I can last till 10 o'clock. So if you get bored and drop out, I got it. No problem. We'll talk next week. This is really just another lap around the pool because I need it. I'm going to be on stage in front of a lot of people, and this is me showing the content, opening the kimono, showing people what I do, how I help people, who I help. Because if it sucks, I need to know about it. And I know the people that watch this are going to tell me that you should change this or that because they got my back, just like I got theirs. So we always talk about the 12 elements of business, kind of like the 12 days of Christmas. Of course, we always say we could break this down to 6. We could break it. We could go deep dive into make it 40. But for the most part, I like to talk about it in 12. So people first, man. We always start with people first. Always, always. Employee acquisition, onboarding, retention creates a positive company culture. This is not something that can be created. Positive company culture has to be a result of your employee acquisition, your onboarding and retention process, system, culture. That's how you make the positive work culture. It's a result of doing those 3 things correctly. And by the way, doing them the same way every single time, organization wide, which means you need a process. You need a people process. If you'd like a survey to find out if you have a people process that's worth anything that could go in your favor to work through positive company culture, please drop me a line. I will. Thank you, Christy. I'll put that up there. I will email you a form, a Google form that you can go through as a survey to find out if you indeed have a people first process. And I'm going to tell you how good it is. It's so awesome because I got it straight from Scott McGregor and the TCC and the people there at Something New, because they are the kings, the undisputed heavyweight championship people finders, acquisition, headhunters in America, in the world, undisputed. And that's my direct pipeline to how I learn everything I learned about people first is Scott McGregor, Kathy Leckie. Kathy Leckie, let me tell you, these people are, they're just amazing. So HR is everyone's job. So enough about people first. I don't want to spend too much time on each one of these, but it is the key. And if you have that one wrong, you can't do anything else right. Clarity, having the mindset of a CEO. Really, again, we're going to get into that. We're going to break it down, but it all starts with your principles and values. Identifying your avatar, which is basically your, I see the link here, Christy. I'm going to do that again and see if I can't show the link. Thank you for that. I don't know. Nope. Can't see the link. So maybe put the link if you want to in a separate, if you want to do that anyway. It's floridarealtors.org/convention. Florida Realtors. Oh, there it is. Yeah. .org/convention. It's there. It's just doesn't look like the website, like the link that I see on here. But Florida Realtors, if you want tickets to go see this show, they're about $150. And I think that's for the whole convention. And it may even be for Martha Stewart. Not quite sure. But to see me in Orlando, August 25th is, that ticket's available. That's where you would get the ticket. And there's Mama saying hi, Christy. Anyway, so again, principles, value, identifying your avatar, which is your ideal client, and then differentiating yourself. Very, very important. Without any of that, again, all of these things are crucial to your success. Marketing. Getting your message out to the message, getting your outside perception to match your inside reality, and then learning about the conversion equation, which we cover on this show extensively, but I will be covering a little more later on tonight, perhaps if we make it that far. Communication, over-delivering world-class education of what you do. So you're educating your clients about what you do. That's the communicating I'm speaking about there. And the next one is overcoming objections proactively. So you do this by getting your message out there and educating your people before they even think of them as an objection. You're kind of answering questions while they're still thinking of them as answers before they're even considering them to be an objections. And shaping the buyer's journey, which again, we can get into all this stuff, but I'm not here to really dig down so deep on each one of these. If you'd like to know about any one of these, though, just you know how to reach me. We can spend some time together. Narrowing the lead pool, right? People searching for leads. in an ocean of crap, trying to sift through dumpsters full of, garbage to find the one or two good things, that they can use, right? A couple leads that might be people looking for their service. We flipped that, right? We changed that. We changed it all up. We narrow that lead pool down to a swimming pool size. So very easy to do, by the way, extremely easy. All of this stuff is easy to do. I'm an operations guy. I'm a process guy. I'm a systems guy. The reason I like this so much, this system, is because it is a system. Everything that you're seeing here is systematically created with videos and text, and it's just it's just so damn easy. It's really nuts, and everybody that I've actually shown this to have loved it, and everyone that's implementing it on a consistent basis is getting results. So the next one is sales. So we want to talk about the buyer's journey. You want to turn yourself from a salesperson into an advocate. All right. That's kind of what you want to do. You don't want to be a salesperson. You want to be a subject matter expert. You want to be a provider. You want to be a server. So the future buyers, when you're talking about working towards people who want to buy your product, they're going to be interested in benefits and ownership. All right. Why should I buy from you? And then if they're looking to buy sooner than later, right, a little closer to the timeline, they're going to be thinking about the objections to owner. Why shouldn't I buy this, right? That's how the brain works. This is the buyer's journey. Now, I'm talking about people who want to buy today. After you've educated them, they become, who should I buy from? And then they start basing that who on knowable, likable, trustable. Did you educate them? Were you honest with them? Were you trustworthy? Then they're buying based on value, right? And we're going to get into this later with everyone else chasing the 3% of people who want to buy right now. And all those people are only buying on price. You do not want to be selling things on price, because then you become a salesperson, and then you're not. That's where everybody is, and that's where no one wants to be. JVs, which is joint ventures and alliances. This one's so important. This one, a lot of people overlook this, but a lot of business, especially like I'm talking about my BNI folks here. All right, this is what we do. These are our alliances. These are our joint venture folks. Right, we're in business together. We're looking for each other's business. Okay, so for example, let's say you're a florist. Okay, and you want to say the buyer's journey again, somebody who's getting married. Well, there's steps that they take. When someone becomes interested in hiring a florist for a wedding, well, what has to happen first? They got to get engaged, right? Of course they have to get engaged. So who should you go to and build a relationship with that will give them, the person who's buying that engagement ring, maybe a list of some people in the industry from the person? Because trust me, when a guy goes into a jewelry store and lays down 3 months salary, he trusts them. He trusts that that diamond is not fake, not a fugazi, right? And so imagine they give them a list that said, listen, I know it's a big step you're taking. You got about a year. That's about the average for people to be engaged. If you like, here's a list of some people that we trust and that have done really good by our clients. You want to be on that list, all right? And the same thing goes for every single one of these steps. The next step that a person takes after they get engaged, typically in order, they look for a church and then a wedding planner, and then they look for a venue for the reception. Then they look for their wedding dress, and then they look for a DJ, right? An MC. And then they're maybe looking for a honeymoon planner, right? Everyone above that line there, 1 through 7, happens typically before they go and start picking out the flowers for the centerpieces and such. Those are very important. Those are people giving you business. Now, if you say, I'm going to give you some money for every person that comes in and buys the flowers from me, I'm going to give you a percent. Well, don't you think that those people would more than likely give you business, right? If you kick them back a little referral fee, a little referral gift. maybe it wouldn't hurt. Definitely wouldn't hurt to have relationships like that. And then you have some things that happen after the florist. And this, again, is not everyone's not the same, but for the most part, like a wedding cake and a printer for the invitations. So imagine if you went to them and said, listen, or to all the other people, if they come to me first, I'm going to give them your number, your information. You'll be in my trusted list of good people who treat people who plan weddings, associated products and services. And then you're all sharing that business and giving each other referral fees. And maybe you are paying each other money. Maybe you're paying each other thank you and gift cards, or maybe you're just doing it on a handshake. And which either way, you're still getting business either way. So that is the joint venture and alliances. And then people say, okay, but what if my business ain't like that, right? I can't do that. Well, let's say you're not in a chain. Like, let's just say you're a landscaper. So this example is a landscaper who there's no people just, these are long cut, right? There's no really chain, right? You buy a house, you got to start buying. So maybe if somebody might be a good referral source is maybe a real estate agent, right? Or title company, mortgage broker, like those people, of course, because when they sell a house or involved in a sale, they need housing services, right? So definitely that could be quite the list. But I'm just saying, if you're not in the chain, besides that chain, if you're out of that chain, you also, there's people that do services to a house that mess up the lawn, or that encourage a landscaper's services because the people are clearly upgrading their house so they can recommend you. So pool builders and tree trim services, fertilization people, sprinkler builders, patio builders, lighting contractors, right? And new home builders. All these people can what do I have? I'm missing a fence companies on there, right? So I definitely can recommend business, right? Yeah, my wife's giving me the what for. I didn't say anyone was paying anyone on that other thing. So, but on the first one, with a wedding person, anyone can pay anyone, but on this, anyone could pay anyone for referrals. But I got your text. I don't think I said that. So I think we're clear there. And everyone will find out who you can pay when you go to ask somebody if it's illegal. So if your particular license or area is illegal to pay someone referral, well, then you just tell them I can't pay you, but I can give you a thank you card, or testimonial, or Google review, anything. It doesn't have to be money. So you're not welcome. If you don't have a chain, you can go here. Anyway, then your back end. All right, another part of your business, getting people in your business. Sometimes the people, they used to call them lost leaders, right? Do you have a deal? Are you okay with offering somebody $100, $200 worth of services to get in the door? Because what you do on the back end is upsell them, downsell them, cross-sell them, bundle them, right? The old, get them in the door, then see what you could do with them, right? The McDonald's, right? Fries with that, Coke, you upsize them, supersize them. That's all this model is, right? So don't worry about every dollar that you're going to make the very first time you meet someone. Have a back end system that allows you to make money down the road on them. That's called lifetime value of your client. So you have a initial lifetime dollar amount that they're worth, and maybe that's taking a loss or breaking even. But 30 days now, when they're buying other things, now they've got a 30-day lifetime value. Then you got a 60-day, a 90-day, a 1 year, a 2 year, a 5 year. You have lifetime values that are always different depending on the space of time from when you first met them or encountered them to the point in time where you're doing the calculation. So if you have great, anyone that comes downselling, they come in, they don't want what you have to sell, but maybe you can give them a lesser package. Maybe you can cross sell them to another product. Hopefully you're upselling. That's the most beneficial one. And then I'll tell you what, bundling is really awesome when people are calling you on price. All right. So I'm calling you, I got this couch, and somebody down the street has the same couch, same manufacturer, for $100 cheaper. Well, then when you bundle it, you say, okay, look, I got these lamps. I got the table. That they sell the chairs separately, and if you buy this couch, I could also give you this table and give you, the chairs at half price. right? So now you're bundling. Now you've changed the deal. Now they can't compare your couch with their couch because you've bundled it with some other things, and it's not the same deal, right? So do you have that in your business, right? Now, again, not everything is available in every business too. So this might not be available in your particular industry, but there's 12 of them here. And again, I go to 40. I promise you 30 of them will be in your business. And if you focus on these things, you will make money. Executive team. I don't care if you're 500 employees, 5,000 employees, 5 employees, or by yourself. You still deal with people, and you have to have a good executive mindset. You have to have a good, that's the CEO mindset again, open-minded leadership. You got to promote growth within the organization, have an open door policy. You got to ask questions for improvement of your front-facing employees, of your clients, of your mentors, of your power team people that you work with. This applies to every single person in business. All right, knowing your numbers, huge. You know how many people don't know their numbers? It's frightening. It is scary. People think numbers are scary. Math is hard. It's not. We've got the systems, we've got the spreadsheets, we've got the support. And knowing your numbers is, I say this, like every single one of these is the number one reason to stay in business. Number one way that you could go out of business not knowing your numbers. All right, I say that about every single one of these though, because it's true. Okay. So transparency on your environment, if you have an organization, about your numbers, letting your employees know exactly what they're responsible for. So organizational awareness of the numbers, of the targets, positional awareness, right? What I'm doing, how is what I'm doing impacting not only the company, but the people left and right of me, right? The people up and down the chain. So I know exactly what my efforts, how they're impacting the numbers, right? And then I talked about this on a TikTok video last week about the personal and professional goals. We talk about numbers and goals, but you don't have to track, do these quarterly reviews and all that BS, right? If you give people, let them tell you, right, some personal and professional goals, especially if they know what your numbers are, and they're going to plan to set goals for themselves to surpass those. Well, then all you got to do is hold them accountable for their own personal goals. And when I say hold them accountable, I mean support them in a way that's supportive and educating, and give them the chance to surpass their own personal and professional goals. Then you don't have to do reviews anymore. Imagine that. All right, so give that a try. Let me know how that works out. By the way, 954-338-9799. Give me a call if you have anything that I haven't covered, anything you disagree with. Put it in the chat. We'll throw you on. All right. I'm not saying I know everything about everything. I just have access to things that most people don't, because I've spent a lot of money researching this thing, and I spend a lot of money on the technology, and I live it every single day. I breathe this stuff. So, and obviously day and night, because I'm still here at 8:42 on a Wednesday night going over this. And, we do this. This is we live and breathe it. So if I'm missing something, please show me the light. Right. Open-mindedness, having a training, not only for your employees, but for yourself. Never ending training, 1% better. My family and I are doing what are we doing? We're doing a mastermind. We're covering Atomic Habits. Okay. By James Clear. And that's that 1% better mentality. And I still haven't, I think I told you this last week, still haven't figured out that math, how if you get 1% better every day, you're going to get 37.5 times better at the end of the year, which tells, I don't see how that's 1%. I still don't. I think it's 10%. 37.5 is 10%, a little more than 10%. 1.01 gets 0.375. That's 1%, which is 3.75. I don't know how he says that 37 times better. Listen, somebody can explain it to me. They haven't yet, but that's not really the point of this. It's just something getting on my nerves that I can't figure out. So let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. How are you going to leak it to basic confused? Don't know how to fix it for me. I don't know. Christy, I don't know who this is. Stuff. We'll deal with this later. It seems like it's some sort of real estate thing, but we don't own any houses with a basement, so I'm not quite sure what the hell that text is. Anyway, complete support of your staff to have all the training and access to the stuff that they need. All right. And then lastly, this is the 12th one. And it's not 12th because it's the least important. It's 12th because it's the most important. And I think it needs to be really spent a lot of time with. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it right now tonight at this show, but I do spend a hell of a lot of time here with my clients doing transactional versus organic, the go-giver mentality. Speaking of go-givers, we got here, all right, bam, the go-giver network here, Bob Berg, thank you. The community building and the power of proximity, being around the people who are doing what you want to do, where they're doing what you want to do. All right, not just following them, but being there where they are doing it. Right. So shout out to the Noodlebergs for the ROR, the return on relationship. That is really, I mean, that's just one of the four basic principles that I actually based my my whole life on, is that ROR. So how many of you in the audience right now can say that you definitely spend focus, time, energy, even a little bit of money on every one of those 12 elements? How many folks can tell me that? Right. I bet you not many can. How many of you would say that this would not have an amazing result on your bottom line? How many folks could say that if you spent time, energy, and focus, not even spend a lot of money, but time, energy, and focus on all of those 12 elements, you would not have amazing results in your business? And I say not many would. I don't think anyone could, because it's impossible. Okay. So that was strategy number one. Know your 12 elements. Coming up on 8:46. And I just want to take a little reminder here, remind everyone that they can call in at 954-338-9799. We're not doing a book review this week. I've been reading The Atomic Habits with Christy, and I will do that one when we're done with it in another week or two. But I'm going to do an abbreviated show because I'm actually going to not have as many guests on, because people get sick and people have family members that get sick, and people have school things that pop up, or, whatever. And it's just, a live show is very tough. So I was trying to get some consistency and having guests on, and really making sure that you guys got the same show every week. But it's just impossible to do that and run my business, because I am, like many of you are, a solopreneur. So I have to put priority to putting food on the table before putting guests on the show. So no guest this week. I'm going to take a few weeks off of having guests just so I can focus on the speech that I got coming up in August. But I still am doing the show. Like I said, doing this stuff that I'm going to talk about at that show is beneficial. I hope it's beneficial to you. Definitely beneficial to me. It makes me do the work, makes me do the reps. Anyway, that's wanted to get come out of here real quick before I go into strategy 2, and we're gonna do strategy 2, and then that's it for the night. Strategy 2 that was strategy 1. If you have any comments, put them in the comment section. Otherwise, we're gonna get down to strategy 2, and that's developing the mindset of the CEO. So let's look at some of these mindset. Now, I will tell you, let me see. I had the name somewhere. I think it's e-commerce business. I believe it's e-commerce business is where I got these 10 mindset of CEO. It's really good stuff. So I kind of, R&D, right? Rip off and duplicate, but I give them credit, and I'll make these mine over time. These are not all exactly like they are from there. For the most part, there, because I kind of just ran into this. I'm trying to make it my own, but it's valuable stuff, and I'll give them a shout out to e-commerce. I believe it's e-commercial business. I'll get the name and I'll put it in the comments because it's in my office over there. But anyway, number 1, very important for your mindset, especially when you're a solopreneur. Right, I'm especially talking about solopreneurs who are really new to business too. These are very, very important things that you really need to make sure that you understand, that you cannot afford to spend all day long thinking about every single decision that you're going to make. Some of the best advice was from a guy named Mike Duncan when I was a kid. First supervision job in Hialeah, Florida for Comcast Cable. And he came in there and asked me if I was a ball player. And I said, no, I was a band geek. He said he wouldn't hold it against me. But he said, he took me to lunch and he said, how long have you been doing this? And I said, I think at that point, gosh, maybe 10 years. But first gig supervising. And he said, I'll give you one piece of advice. Whenever you have a chance to make a decision, do not sit on it. It's better to decide and act on the information you have at the ready than to be indecisive. And, it didn't really blow my skirt up at the time because I was a very proactive person by then. But in hindsight and later on in my career, I saw how many people get paralyzed, right? Paralyzation by analyzation. My Lord, it was so aggravating. So much better for your organization, for you to make some decisions and take some action based on the data, not your heart, but your mind, on data, on hard data that you have at the time. You can always defend making decisions if you use data. At the time, you made a decision, and that's what you did, because you can always change. You could always retreat. You could always pivot. You could always go a different direction. So definitely start with decisions, not precision. This means understanding that every decision you make in your business does not have to be 100% perfect. How many elections are won unanimously, right? None of them, right? Everything you do is not going to be popular. There's going to be people who don't agree with you. Imagine that. But when you're the boss, especially when you're the boss of you and responsible for your family or the families of everybody working for you, you got to be comfortable with that decision based on the data and the facts and the, of course, the principles and values of your company. But go with it. All right. It's not a competition. It's not a competition for likability. It's not a competition for people who are not being held accountable for that decision. You're responsible. You're accountable. Go with you in your gut. Doesn't mean you're not going to get input. That's part of the data. But at the end of the day, make those decisions. Strategy and timing are two of the most important things to consider when making decisions. As your business grows and you have more decisions to make, pause and take time to think about how your decisions will impact the business. Again, that's the data, collecting the data. So let's go to number 2, which is top down, not bottom up. And I'll tell you what, this has to do with, I think, more with, I wouldn't say procrastination. I would say that it has more to do with taking the easy path, right? The path of least resistance. When you are a business owner, you're building a new business. If you are focused on the bottom line, when I was talking about bottom up and top down, you've got lost in the details and you're just mired in the muck and you're down and working in your business instead of on your business. That is a huge mistake. Focusing on your business from the top down is one of the biggest mistakes, or from the bottom up, that CEOs and entrepreneurs of small businesses make. They're getting stuck working in the business. They're focused on working all the daily details and tasks, right? Because they're not maybe time boxing. They're not allowing themselves to get to the things that will get them more business in the long run. At the end of the day, your job is to get yourself more business, to do right by the people who are already in your business. But if you can't figure out how to spend the minutes in the day that you have to spend on your business without doing the big stuff, and you're just toiling around the little stuff, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you should be working for another company that, because that's what you like to do. You don't like to make those big sweeping decisions or going out and getting new business or learning the things that you don't understand. You like doing those little things because you understand them. You're not comfortable being uncomfortable. All right. That's what it's all about. You need to work top down, focusing on growing value in your business, To do that, you need to identify your final destination. Think about what we call that. It's thinking about starting with the end in mind. All right. That's what we call that. Now, a lot of people talk about 5 years, 10 years. Fooey business these days runs too fast. I believe it is 3 years max. 3 years max. You could have a 5-year plan. You could have a 10-year plan, but really anything that you're going to make decisions on have to be, I believe, within 3 years, because technology moves too fast. Um, ingenuity, ingenuity, in this, what am I thinking of? Innovative, right? Innovation moves too fast. So you can't spend too much time out in the future, because things just change too rapidly these days. All right. This one is a big one. This one, control freaks, right? So you're new in business. You used to be a land grabber. You had to justify your position. So you kind of took your responsibility and you kind of treated it like it was a prison meal, and you put your arms out there and you used to eat it as fast as you can, because you didn't want to let anybody show you anything, because you feared that it would mean you didn't know how to do your job, or someone else is going to try to take your job, or somebody would realize they don't need you. You're not as valuable. You're a business owner now. You need to relinquish this control. I hope that one sinks in, because that's a big one. I see a lot of people afraid to give away tasks, to outsource things, because they're just in that habit. No one can do things better than I can. Bull crap. No one can do everything perfectly. Nobody can. So if you give away the stuff that you aren't as good at, after you learned what they're about, what you need to have as far as somebody working for you, so you can understand if they're doing a good job, you need to give that stuff away. Right? You need to be working in your strengths. You need to be keeping an eye on growing the business, growing the value, like we said at number 2. And the things that you're wasting around, spinning your wheels with, you have to outsource it, or figure out how to cut other things out of your day so you can actually do both. I mean, a lot of people are afraid to work 12, 15, 16 hours a day. That's what it takes, folks, to start a new business. It takes 15, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week sometimes. Okay. And to grow your business and do all those little things yourself. When you make some money, start outsourcing some of this stuff. There's a lot of really cheap labor that you can get around the internet to do some of the stuff that takes you so much time, because you're just not good at creating the websites and creating the marketing, creating the logos. You sit there toiling with it for hours and hours and hours, and wasting days, when you could be out there networking, growing relationships, learning the business, and seeing the innovation within your business. And that's what's going to add value to your business. All right. Number 4 is having a strategy and creating the plan and executing. If you don't set the goals and you don't make the decisions, you're never going to move that ball forward. So, we're reading Atomic Habits, and of course the goals aren't, you don't base everything on the goals. You don't want to, as Chris Voss said, you don't want to settle on something where you could have a better outcome. That's not what I'm talking about. But people, they'll chase so many squirrels, right? 5 squirrels at once, and you're going to catch 0 of them. So have a strategy, make a plan, know your tactics, and execute. Track your numbers, and then review them and see how you could get better. Really, this is very important. This is a very common mistake that new business owner make. They get shiny object syndrome, he calls it. What's your final destination? How are you going to get there? Remember, plan with the end in mind, having that exit strategy, and then reverse engineer it, and then work those numbers, work those steps. And if you're chasing too many squirrels, you're never going to catch one. So definitely want to go ahead and execute. Number 5, this one for businesses year 1 to 3 is the number one reason that companies, small businesses especially, go out of business. 99% of businesses in America are small businesses, 500 people or less. They make up 50% of the workforce, 99% of the businesses. And the reason that 1 to 5 or 1 to 3 year goes out of business is for this one right here. They don't budget, they don't forecast, and they do not ensure continuous cash flow. And that's how they lose their business, because the cash stops flowing. They might have all the revenue in the world. I don't care if you have $1 million a week in revenue. If no one's paying you, you've got no cash flow. All right. Maybe your business model is one that you got revenue, you send out checks, invoices, to companies, for work that's done in increments, but then they don't pay you because they didn't approve it, they didn't inspect it, they didn't give the final sign off. Oh, the check's in the mail, blah blah blah. Revenue is useless on paper without the green stuff coming into the bank. And let's say without money, you don't have a business. It's just that simple, right? And then you go out and get some loans. And man, I got these people calling me all the damn time, every day. These companies think I need money. They want to throw money at you, man. You stay away from that. If you got just cash flow. Take if you got a credit card, get credit card. We have people who do credit card reviews, and they can pass through the charges now, so you don't even have to pay for the charges. Not a debit cards, but the credit charges, you can pass those through your clients. There's no reason for you not to have cash flow. If you take checks, that's one thing. I hate checks, but definitely do not do that 30-day, 60-day, 90-day net. You need cash flow. All right. So let's look at number 6 here on the hit parade. Delegate to increase capacity. But that goes back again to what we had with relinquish control, right? Which was number 3. Delegate. Again, some people they don't like to give up some of the process and systems and tasks that business owners have to do all the time. So before you delegate, you have to have the right systems. You have to have the right training. Maybe you videotaped yourself doing it a bunch of times, so the person that's going to do it can see the videotapes. They can see the steps and the process and the systems that ensures that they're going to do stuff the same exact way. Not only that you did it, but they do it the same exact way every time. And then if that person decides they don't want to be with your company anymore, they move on and you hire someone else, and then you just show them the videos and they take over without a big downfall in your time and in your efforts. So delegate to increase capacity. Simplify, measure, and optimize. This is a good one. People just remember I said earlier that people think this whole business is very tough. It's so simple. We have simplified all of this stuff. 12 elements, 6 elements that we pull out to 12, that we pull out to 40, that we do over time. We just drill deeper and deeper and deeper. These are the top 10 mindsets of a CEO, a successful business. 10 things that you could do to make sure that you're thinking like a CEO. Keep it super simple, right? It goes back to Jocko Willink, right? And extreme ownership. Number 8 is manage risk, but learn to let go when things go wrong. Learn from things that went wrong. So risk, right? My last name is spelled to risk. I know a little thing about risk. I've lost a lot. I've risked a lot. I'm not risk adverse. I'm very up to risking, but I've learned from my losses, and I've gained from my losses. And man, I've lost a lot. I've hurt businesses. I've hurt families. I've hurt my own family, my employees' families by some of these mistakes. That's the only way you're going to learn, though. All right. Life is too short to sit here and take it safe all the time. You've got to take risk in business. It's calculated risk. Some risks are more risky than others, but you got to do something. 9 is create repeatable process. What just goes back to what I said about the time before, to create these processes, keep them simple, keep them repeatable. And number 10 is patience, and discipline, not fear and greed. All right. People confuse those all the time. They don't be afraid, and don't make people afraid. And do not work on greed. Don't have the FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Taking jobs that are not going to make you money because you think that volume is important, right? No, it's gotta make sense. If it don't make sense, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Okay, so don't let that greed get you by the volume. That's what. Oh, you got to take the good with the bad. Boy, did I used to hate that one. You got to take these cable companies, right? Windstream and AT&T, all these people. You got the people. You got to take the good with the bad, right? We're going to give you this job. You're going to lose your ass, but you get the good. You got to take the bad. When would I get any good? I don't remember getting any good. Here's my price. You want me to do it? This is my price, because this is what makes me money. I'm not going making $1 million off of every job, but they all add up. And I can't do any jobs and lose money. It doesn't make sense to lose money on a job like that when you don't get any good. So remember I told you about the loss leaders. You got to be able to upsell them, cross-sell them, downsell them, bundle them. All right. It's okay to have a lost leader, but it's not okay to continuously doing services for people and losing money on it, especially the ones that take advantage of these corporations. If you're in business with these guys, they are, man, they're ruthless. That's all they care about. Sometimes their bottom line. So all depends on your client, but definitely watch that one. Okay. And I think we're going to wrap it up here. It's 9:04. I've got so much more to talk about. Know how to market yourself. Strategy number 3. Man, we'll do this over the next couple of weeks, maybe, if you guys dig it. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments what you thought about tonight. If you learned anything, hit me up. I don't know why I'm keep going blurry there, but I think it's this microphone. I think it's the microphone screwing me up. But definitely hit me up in the chat. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want to see on this show. Shout out again to my BNI brothers and sisters, the Florida Speakers Association gang, some real family members, my aunt, my mom, my wife. Really appreciate everybody watching and tuning in for this show. I do it for many, many reasons, but the number one reason why I do it is to just try to be around people that want to learn and get 1% better. And I do too. So please, by participating, you are actually letting me learn from you as much as hopefully you're learning some things from this show. So adios, we're a ghost, to give a shout out there from Rick and Suds back in the day in South Florida. But I will also say it's time now to get down to business. See you next week, everybody.